Prabhupada ki jai. This is the last lecture in the series of this of Saranagati, the perspective of various acharyas on 18th chapter 66th verse. Sarvdharman paritajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami ma 𝗙𝗎. And I want to focus on what Srila Prabhupada says in his purports about Saranagati. Because Prabhupada's purports, Bhagavad Gita as it is, that's very important to all of us as devotees of ISKCON. And Srila Prabhupada explains beautifully the process of surrender. Prabhupada says in his purports, there are many types of karma yoga, jnana yoga, mystics and devotees, Prabhupada says, but pure devotee is the best of all. Why? Because he is doing Saranagati. Now in the list of many people, Prabhupada also includes devotees, because there are many devotees who are mixed with karma and jnana, who doesn't have full faith 100% in Saranagati. And that's a very beautiful insight of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says this verse, if you practice this verse, you become a pure devotee, surrendered to Krishna. And Prabhupada starts this purport as in the initial part of the purport, Prabhupada says Krishna has recommended many type of religious activities like religious rituals, mystic meditation, controlling of mind, austerity, but now Krishna says abandon and take shelter of me. In other words, Prabhupada is saying, Prabhupada is mentioning that even controlling the mind is not our process. Process is Saranagati. Process is the conviction that Krishna is my master, I am his servant and I must serve him. Process is service to the Lord, and controlling mind is anukul to this sadhana. So Srila Prabhupada brings another point. He says process, if you read purport carefully, which I have explained in the last class also, that surrender, Saranagati is a sadhana, and following dharma and other limbs of dharma is anukul to that sadhana. So within that dharma, even control of mind comes, control of senses comes, austerities, following varna ashrama, it's all anukul, it's all favorable to Saranagati or devotion. Prabhupada makes it very clear. And then Prabhupada explains the 6 limbs of Saranagati in the purport. He quotes that 6 limbs which I have been explaining. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshashati vishwasukopspritevanatha, akshishpakarpane shadvidha Saranagati. Bhakti Vinod Thakur comments, Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written entire book on Saranagati. It's so important, he considers this so important that he has written an entire book, and he has taken each limb of Saranagati and made poems on that, songs on that, so that people can read and understand. And right in the beginning, Bhakti Thakur writes, Ateva durlabha prem kari bare dan, 𝗙𝗎 Saranagati bhaktera pran. About Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding, what is Saranagati? Bhakti Thakur says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to distribute love of God. Atyanta durlabha prem kari bare dan, 𝗙𝗎 Saranagati. So in order to attain the love of God, Mahaprabhu has taught Saranagati. What is Saranagati? Bhaktera pran. That means Saranagati is the life force of devotion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the goal as love of God, process devotion, but the life force of devotion is Saranagati. Just like if you have a car, if you have a vehicle, what is the life force of vehicle? Petrol. Without petrol nothing works. That's giving energy. So Saranagati gives energy to the devotional process. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, we hear, we chant, this is a devotional process, Shravan, Kirtan. What is the life force Saranagati? Bhakti Thakur writes then further, he says, Shadang Saranagati hoiro jahar, tahar prathna sune Nanda Kamar. He says, people who follow, devotees who follow this Saranagati, their Shravanam Kirtanam will reach Krishna, otherwise it will not reach Krishna. So, by this we can understand Sharanagati is a life force of devotion, and you see such a beautiful explanation what is Sharanagati. Such a beautiful explanation what is the link of Sharanagati with devotion. And that's uniqueness of Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas. They make everything clear and don't keep even an iota of doubt or doubts or make it abstract. No, it's very clear what is Sharanagati, what is devotion, how they are linked. Of course, you can't separate Sharanagati and devotion because Sharanagati is life force of devotion. Just like our soul and consciousness, you can't separate soul and consciousness. So, soul expresses consciousness, and we can see consciousness. Devotion we can see, but what's behind that? Behind that is Sharanagati. That's very important there to understand this. And if you read Srila Prabhupada purport to this verse, you can see Prabhupada is also trying to explain this very fact, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying in his purport, and then Srila Prabhupada comments on this verse of Shadang Sharanagati, and he ends the purports there. So, this is what Sharanagati is. Of course, one thing I just want to comment that many acharyas, different acharyas focus on different limbs, this limbs of Sharanagati. So, what I mean to say, Ramanujacharya, he says Rakshishati Vishvaso is the most important limb of all the 6 limbs, to have complete faith in Krishna. Prabhupada also says in one of his lectures, this is the most important thing, to have complete faith that Krishna will protect me. Other acharyas says 𝗪𝗆 Tatha is the most important limb of all limbs. Jiva Goswami says Krishna will always maintain me, 𝗪𝗆 Tatha. It's the most important limb of all 6 limbs. Other acharyas, Baldev Vidyabhushan for example, he says Anukulase Sankalpa Pratikulase Varjanam. This is the most important limb. But these are details. All 6 are most important. Why different acharyas are saying this is important, this is important, some other acharyas say this is important, that is from different perspectives they are talking about the importance of limbs of Sharanagati. But on the whole, all 6 limbs are important, and we should follow all these 6 limbs. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the book Sharanagati, he says that Karpanne, which is the last one, humility is the most important. And he, in fact, when he is writing book on Sharanagati, he is writing songs, he doesn't start with Anukulase Sankalpa, he starts with Karpanne, starts right from the end. Sometimes you keep the best for the rest, the best in the last. So, humility, he sometimes says humility is the most important. So, what is most important? Well, all of the 6 are important. All of the 6 limbs are important. You can't delete any limb. You can't say I have complete faith in protection of Krishna, but I don't have so much faith in humility. Well, it's absurd. Anyway, these are some nuances I just wanted to tell you. You will find in books, but don't get confused. All 6 limbs are important. Prabhupada in this purport doesn't say anything which limb is more important than other, because Prabhupada says that doesn't really matter. All are equally important from various perspectives, and that's why Prabhupada doesn't touch on this point. And that shows Prabhupada's intelligence in writing a purport to this verse of Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you might have liked these courses and understood many important things about this verse, which is Charam Shlok, which is the most important verse of Bhagavad Gita. I know many devotees, of course, as a devotee we want to understand this verse from all angles, as Prabhupada said. You should read every verse scrutinizingly from different angles. And what are those different angles? Those different angles are different angles of various acharyas. It's not a speculative, it's not a speculation, a speculative exercise that we create different angles and then understand this verse. So that's why we developed this course, and now you can appreciate what Prabhupada and our Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas have done, and given us complete harmonizing explanation and also in complete depth of this verse with its true spirit. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada.